know what? I just had to pray before this video because I'm super nervous because I'm literally getting up here and telling my business. Like, why? Like, why am I talking about the time that I left my sugar daddy and I booked the role of my dreams and I started dating this amazing guy and had great money and all of these things and I was on top of the world? Like, why am I up here telling y'all my business? So hi, I'm Letitia Renee Brown. Some know me as Tisha Renee, and this is Testimony, My Life, His Glory. And this is episode 1. And in this episode, I want to talk about probably spring 2019. I'm not on top of the world. I am actually a struggling actress who is in this sugar baby relationship with this guy who is taking care of everything for me financially so that I can pursue my dreams. And what else is going on? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I was struggling with binge eating disorder and just basically killing myself to be a size, 2 or 4, and which is not my normal size. And I'm just hitting a really rough patch in my life because at this point I've been pursuing acting full time, trying to make it for about 3 years, which is not a long time, honestly. But for me, I was like, something has to hit. I really just want to land my dream role. And so the issue that I had was I was represented by a very small boutique agency, which is nothing wrong with that, but they didn't quite have the connections that I felt like I needed in order to get ahead and just go from this nobody doing, small indie roles, which were so fulfilling though, by the way, even though they were free or paid little to nothing, they were very fulfilling. But these small indie roles here in Atlanta. And then also, I ended up doing a lot of like crime scene reenactment shows. So like Fatal Attraction, Homicide Hunters, ATL Homicide, all that stuff. And those were fun too. But it wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I remember telling myself, like, you know what, come January, I'm just going to hit a pause on acting. I'm going to drop my agent, which I did, and I'm going to just get myself together because I didn't feel like I was the weight that I was supposed to be. I didn't feel like I had the look that I was supposed to have in order to make it in Hollywood. I'm already a dark-skinned woman in Hollywood. Now you got the nerve to be curvy. Okay, no, we need to drop down to this super skinny size so at least I could be closer to like a Gabrielle Union or Tika Sumpter like figure to where I'll be more acceptable. That's what's going on in my mind. I don't know these women personally. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. But in my mind, I saw, comparison, obviously. I saw, well, this is what I need to look like in order to make it. And so I started to just kind of work on myself. And when I say work on myself, there was no Jesus. There was no, close-knit relationship with God whatsoever. I was working as a yoga instructor at a well-known chain of yoga studios. So I was doing that while also getting my bills paid for. And that, by the way, is going to be another video for another day, the whole sugar baby journey. So stay tuned for that, my ladies. And from there, I was just trying to just do this yoga thing, hang out with this old dude, and just continue on trying to just work on myself. And when I say work on myself, I meant I was taking workshops. I was trying to gain all of the business savviness that I needed to make it in the acting industry, because it's not just about your artistic craft. And I had to learn that. And it wasn't hard for me to pick up on because I had a business background in the first place. And so from there, I was just kind of focusing on my spiritual journey. And when I say spiritual journey, I was heavy in the New Age, heavy in mysticism and Zen type meditations, yoga. Like I said, I was a yoga instructor. You name it, the chakras, no, the crystals, all the things, all the things. Okay, and that also is going to be another video for another day. And please stay tuned for that. Any and everyone who's ever, experienced a New Age and what it can do to you. I had some limiting beliefs that I felt like I needed to kind of break off of me in order to move forward. And so this workshop that I did was actually very helpful to help me kind of rewire my brain to think differently than, oh, I'm, too curvy, too dark skinned to make it in Hollywood. Nobody's ever going to book me to be a series regular here, especially in Atlanta. And so this was all the things that I was thinking. And so I'm going to fast forward just a little bit because I want you to follow along the journey of how I got to the peak, the top, on top of the world, right? And so I ended up going to a workshop that was hosted by a well-known casting director here in Atlanta who cast for Tyler Perry, and went to her workshop and, made that connection, did the workshop, and I felt like I killed it. So I felt, let me reach out to her afterwards and see maybe she can help me get new representation. And then she kind of showed me like, hey, there may be some opportunities for you to audition for this role that's coming up on this new show. And then she let me know about it. And I was just like, okay. And so I started the journey of auditioning for the Oval, and I auditioned for maybe like 3 or 4 different roles. And it's interesting. I auditioned for Ruth. I auditioned for people who watch the show, they're gonna be like, what? I auditioned for Ruth. I auditioned for Denise. If y'all remember Denise, and I auditioned for Jean. And I actually was going through the process. Then I got a call back. And all the while, I'm still kind of like navigating my normal life, hanging out with my sugar daddy and, teaching yoga classes and just going about my days, as usual. And then I got a call back for 2 roles, Jean and Denise. And so that whole callback experience was crazy in and of itself. It was a whirlwind for me. And I remember sitting on the floor in the corner, just like going over lines, and went in, did the chemistry reads for Jean. And then the casting director says, Mr. Perry wants me to read for Sharon. I was like, Sharon? Wait, Sharon, wait, that's a series regular role. Because the callbacks that I had was for 2 reoccurring roles. And I go back in and I do the chemistry read with the young man that's supposed to play Barry. And we do the chemistry read together. And Mr. Perry was asking a few questions. And I did not even know he was going to be there. So that freaked me out. I was like, nobody told me I was going to be literally auditioning in front of him. But I had to keep my cool. And so that was an amazing experience. And then from there, we go into this holding room. Maybe an hour later, Mr. Perry comes in and says, congratulations, everybody in this room is going to be on the show. And we're just like, what? And he's like telling everybody their roles. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop it. Why? You're crazy. And I'm just going crazy. And from there, my life, I knew was about to change. And so this is this crazy wild ride that I went on the next few months where, okay, I booked this role. Now we're revving up to actually film it. Okay, now I'm on set. Oh my gosh, I got this dressing room. I'm at Tyler Perry Studios. I'm acting with people who I've seen on other TV shows and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm living my dream. This is so amazing. I remember I did my last yoga class and I told all of my students, like, this is my last day and I just booked a great role and all this stuff. They were so happy for me. And I was still in my relationship and we were holding on for a while. And then I just got like swept off of my feet by this whole entire experience. It was like, oh, now you're invited to the Tyler Perry, gala. Oh my gosh, now we're going to this fly to LA to go to this BET red carpet thing. And I brought my girlfriend with me. And oh my gosh, now we're, going to this and that. And it was just so much. And not to mention the premiere of the actual TV show. And then it's just like, it's just this whirlwind of things. I felt like I was like booked and blessed, like, just like very busy. I wound up, shortly after, and this sounds bad, but this is what I did. I broke up with the gentleman I was dating, and it ran its course. We've been together for a couple of years, and now I was going to be making as much, if not more, than what he was giving me every month and annually. So I sounds so cringy to say that. When I tell you I was such a total different person in 2019. And I want to pause here and say, first of all, if this is interesting to you, intriguing, if you want to stick around to see where Jesus comes in, please like this video. Please subscribe so that you can see when the next video comes out next Wednesday. And stick around on this journey, because it's interesting as I share this part of my life with you all, because it's like I'm talking about a total different person when I tell you I'm worlds apart from this young lady that I'm talking about in 2019. Like, she's just, I feel for her. She was so broken. She was so insecure. She was so lost and very naive. And she did not have peace. She was not truly happy. But in this moment, oh my God, I booked this role. Okay, I broke up with my sugar daddy. Oh my gosh, now I'm making my own money. I can go and just like be free. Oh, now I'm dating this guy, who's really hot. Okay, that didn't work out. Oh, this guy is cute. That didn't work out either. Oh, now this guy comes out of nowhere and we actually pursue a relationship. And oh my gosh, he says, I'm the one. And now we're going to settle down and we're going to get married, all this stuff. And I just really thought that I just had my whole life planned out. And the guy that I'm referring to is my ex-boyfriend, who kind of just came into the picture in the midst of, and he was an actor, a well-known actor as well in his own right. And he just kind of came out of nowhere in the midst of this high that I'm literally going to pick up my dress, getting it altered and fitted and everything for the gala, which was the party of the year, which was insane. Everybody who was in Hollywood or a celebrity or a public figure was there. Even the Clintons were there. Like, what? Like, it was insane. And I don't have any pictures or anything. I just have maybe some memorabilia that I can share you. But they encourage us not to use any, take any videos or anything like that, unfortunately. And so I'm literally getting ready for this. But then, after I come back from the gala, and I took my mother with me, we're at my apartment and I'm just like winding down for the night after this crazy gala. And then he's like texting me, and then we're getting to know each other, but it's nothing serious yet. It's just kind of like seeing where it's headed. And then, the next morning we get up and we get ready for the gospel brunch the following day. And so but it's interesting because I'm still interested in another guy, but he's kind of speaking real good to me, really eloquent and long messages and very thoughtful and seems to have great communication skills and all of these things. And I'm just like, wait, who is this guy? And that relationship, after the dust settled, we were done with the premieres. We were done filming season 1. We were done with all the parties and all the things and all the red carpets. And it's like, real life. And I've been, broke up with my sugar daddy at this point, and we moved on from each other. And so this is why I just, honestly, after kind of playing around with a guy or two, I said I wasn't going to date for a whole year. I said I was just I'd never really truly been single since I've been dating as an adult. And so I was like, let me just kind of, not talk to anybody right now. I want to focus on my career. But then in swoops this guy, and he just seemed too good to be true. And I was really intrigued. And so literally, as soon as everything was just completely cut off with my sugar daddy, I was just I finally texted him back. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go on that first date. Let's go on that date. And he flew to Atlanta and took me on a wonderful date. And then from there, we were just smitten with each other. And I just really thought this could go somewhere. Now, the first date, he was saying, you're the one and all this stuff. And I was just like, okay, all right, dude. But so obviously I knew what his disposition was and what he wanted, what his intentions were, if you will. But my intentions were kind of let me see. Let's have fun. I'll travel with you, as you work and do different things and gigs and all of that. And we did that. And that's basically how 2019 ended. But now I was on TV. And now I was experiencing little pieces of fame. And it was really weird. Very strange, actually. Because just to be clear, I never wanted to be famous. I never wanted to be one of those people that's just like everywhere in your face to the point where you're nauseous. And you're just like, oh my God, this girl again. No, that's not what I wanted as an actress. What I wanted was to be known for my craft, for my talent, like a Viola Davis, if you will. And I still desire that, but I am not currently acting, and that is another story. But that was 2019. From about spring 2019 all the way to the end of the year of 2019. And I'm in this relationship and I'm on TV, and my Instagram followers went from like 2,000 something to like 10K. And I'm walking through, the airport, and people are stopping me and saying, oh my God, are you that girl? And freaking out and scaring me a little bit. Like it was really strange to experience any kind of fame. And still to this day, I kind of experience it a little bit, where it's real subtle when people be like, wait, I think I know you from somewhere. And I was like, no, you don't. And they're like, yes, I do. I'm like, no, you don't. And then they figure out I'm on the show and all that stuff. Because it's a very niche show. You know what I mean? It's not like a mega mainstream type show. So it's just really interesting when that happens. But anyway, so yeah, here I am on top of the world. I got let me not forget. Let me not forget. And I can probably like kind of just insert this into the story. As soon as I booked the Oval, a month later, I also booked a major recurring role on the show Black Lightning. Well, to me, it was major. I don't know if other people call it major, but it was major to me. And so I'm working on Black Lightning and the Oval, and it's just like dream life. I went from, no, I can't do it because I don't look like XYZ, to being in this relationship where I was heavily dependent financially on this person. I felt like I couldn't really move and shake the way I wanted to on my own, to being financially independent, to booking 2 great roles, to, dating this wonderful guy, perceived wonderful at that time. We'll get into that as well. And I got some stories, okay? And just living my life. But it's so interesting because I would still have nights where I would go home and binge eat and be so depressed and have anxiety and insecurities and not feel happy and feel empty inside and feel like I need to meditate for an hour and balance my chakras and all this stuff in order to feel sane. Go do a yoga class so I can feel relaxed. So yeah, I just want to paint that picture. I'm telling you how I was on top of the world, but that was a perception that I had at the time, because I was very far from God. Even though I was like, oh yeah, I'm Christian, and I know God. I have my own personal relationship with him. I don't go to church, but I have my own personal relationship with him. Very, very far from God. And that wasn't it. I also wanted to take it a step further and move out to LA. But then when I got there, things got really dark, even though on the outside it didn't look like it. And that is what we're going to talk about in episode 2 next week. Thank you for going on this journey with me so far in this episode 1 of Testimony. My life, his glory. I'm excited for this series. But I don't want to get up here and just talk about me. I want us to actually start to have a conversation about any and everything that I'm talking about. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments down below. But also, I have a question for you. What was your on top of the world moment? That's my question to you all. And where was God in your life at that time where you were glorified and you were on top of the world and doing it and all of these things? Where did you conveniently fit God into your life, if he was in your life at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's keep this conversation going. Until then, until next time.